Yes guys, what is happening? Welcome back to Cop Noise TV, where on this video we will be looking at the big match build-up between this week's fixture in the Premier League between Liverpool and West Ham. Saturday, 3 PM kickoff. I can't wait to get back to Anfield and watch the Reds. But before we get into Liverpool, let's have a look at the opposition review. So, West Ham currently sat 18th in the Premier League, battling relegation. They're in the relegation zone, they're scrapping for their lives. They're 2 points off Nottingham Forest above them and 4 points off Spurs. So they're scrapping away. They're well on the way to basically clawing back, which was looking at one point around the Christmas time like there was a shoo-in to be relegated, going down to the Championship. In terms of West Ham's threats, we all know where they come from mainly. Predominantly, their threats come from wide areas in particular. And coincidentally, this is where all their goals come from as well. So Jarrod Bowen, who maybe potentially 3 or 4 years ago, I would have loved to seen him sign for Liverpool. I think he would have been a great competition, a great player for competition on that right hand side to compete with Mo Salah. But I think looking at Jarrod Bowen now, age pretty much is on. I think he's on the wrong side of 30. Although, listen, you know, he's doing a lot better than me. But yeah, once upon a time, I would have loved to have seen Jarrod Bowen in a red shirt. Now, listen, that's not to say that potentially if West Ham go down and Liverpool can get Jarrod Bowen for a steal, would I turn my nose up at that? Potentially not, but yeah, I think that ship's sailed now, as far as I'm concerned. But listen, he's still doing the business. Jarrod Bowen, he's got 8 Premier League goals this season, and his teammate on the other flank, Crysencio Somerville, who's obviously had a resurgence in form, if you like. He's got 4 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances. And I don't think it's any coincidence that the uplift in Somerville's form has kind of mirrored the uplift in West Ham's recent form, if you like, because they have become considerably more competitive in recent weeks than there was, as I say, around Christmas time, when they was looking as though they was dropping like a stone in the ocean. Basically, they were a sinking ship. And I think the turning point for West Ham was those back-to-back losses. I think there was in the beginning of January they had against Wolves and Nottingham Forest. And I remember watching the Wolves game in particular, and they was dreadful. I think there was 3-0 down in the first half. It was an awful performance from West Ham. But since these 2 results, West Ham, they've played 6 in the Premier League. They've won 3, drawn 2, and lost 1. So you can clearly see they're in games now. They're competing for points. They're scrapping away for their Premier League survival. And 2 of these results, I noticed a common mistake in them, and that was conceding late goals. One was away at Chelsea, where they lost 3-2, and one was at home to Man United, where they drew 1-1. And these 2 results basically cost West Ham points that would have seen them get out of the bottom 3. And as I was looking at the recent results, I thought, no, I'll have a look back at results throughout the season. And I noticed a pattern. And the pattern is West Ham concede late goals. So here's a little bit of a stat for you. So West Ham have conceded in the 85th minute or later 9 times in the Premier League out of 27 games played. So this is literally a third of their games that they've conceded late goals. Now that is a bit of a damaging stat if you're a West Ham supporter or a West Ham player, because they've quite clearly got a fragility to them as the game goes on. It's a weakness that teams can exploit. And listen, speaking of teams getting late goals and exploiting that brings me perfectly onto Liverpool and last week's performance off the back of a 1-0 win away at Nottingham Forest. And for me personally, on the build, if any of you watched my build-up show to the Forest game, I thought Liverpool would be refreshed. I thought Liverpool would be up for this game, given the fact that they had 8 days off. But it was anything but, if you like. And I think potentially Liverpool got knocked out of their rhythm of not playing every 3-4 days, not being in the Carabao Cup, not having the Champions League game in midweek, and maybe, as I say, not having the frequency of playing midweek, weekend. That kind of made the players lost the rhythm, if you like. So I hope at the weekend that we get back to basically playing fluid football, if you like, the kind of poetry in motion, if you want to call it that, as Liverpool fans, as we like to say. Now, Liverpool, for me, are approaching a critical part in their season, coming up to an international break in March. Because in this period, in the league alone, Liverpool play, obviously, West Ham this weekend, we play Wolves, we play Spurs, and we play Brighton. Now, 3 out of these 4 teams, they're all battling for relegation down at the bottom. There's only Brighton, really, who I think potentially are 14th, maybe one game away. I think they're on 34 points, so you'd probably say a win or 2 wins, and that would see Brighton safe. But yeah, all the other teams, except for Brighton, in that little period leading up to the March international break, they're all fighting for relegation. And yeah, fair enough, you could say Wolves are pretty much already down. But what I'm saying is Liverpool have a great opportunity here, because in this period, all the teams around us, so you're talking Man United, Chelsea, Aston Villa, they all have tough games. They all either play each other, or they all are playing rivals that you would say are competing for the European places. So points are going to be taken off each other here, and this is a great chance for Liverpool to capitalise and get in that top 4, not the top 5, I'm talking top 4, and give us a little bit of breathing space there. And personally, now, I think for me, this is no excuse football for Liverpool. And whilst I'm sure that we all want to see better performances than we did at the weekend, it's just get over the line time. And I've had time to reflect over the weekend, and whilst the first half was probably one of the worst games of football I've seen Liverpool play in a long time, the second half was alright. Forest never really threatened. Liverpool pushed and yeah, look, we got over the line, and that's all it's about now. I think it's get over the line time. So I think my message to anyone watching and Liverpool fans out there, I think I've conceded to it, and I think everyone needs to as well. It's just kind of get your seatbelts on, guys, strap yourselves in, because it's going to be one hell of a ride from now till the end of the season. And personally, I think this race for Champions League football is going to go right to the wire. And then, speaking of things that are going right to the wire, Liverpool, well, I'm doing this video before Arne press conference, so Liverpool are awaiting the fitness on a couple of players which potentially could or may not be in contention for selection this weekend. And that is one, Jeremy Frimpong, who personally, whether he's in contention or not, I don't think Arne will rush him back, given the fact that this is his 3rd hamstring injury this season. So the medical staff and the backroom staff are not going to take any chances on Frimpong's fitness. And also Florian Wirtz, who we all know had to back out of the game at the weekend against Forest due to Slot called it a minor back problem. So let's hope, fingers crossed, guys, that Florian Wirtz is up for selection, because we all saw at the weekend how much we missed this guy's creativity in the final third. So that moves me on nicely to what I think Liverpool, or Arne Slot in particular, will do with his team selection this weekend against West Ham. So let's have a look at this. So, as far as the goalkeeper goes, no concerns there. Alisson Becker, best goalkeeper in the world, best goalkeeper in the Premier League, will start in goal for Liverpool. I'm going to go left back to right back, because the right back, as always, throughout this season has been kind of the one area where it's up for debate, if you like. Us as fans, we've all got opinions on it. Obviously, Arne Slot's got his own opinion on it, but yeah. So I'm going to start with the left back, Milos Kerkez, who I think has been one of Liverpool's most consistent performers over the last couple of months. He will start at left back alongside Virgil van Dijk, the captain, and Ibu Konate, who I've done it before, but I want to do it again. I give a special mention to Konate because I think he has been immense this last kind of month or so. I think he's been unbelievable, and Liverpool, if he's not already conceded, not already told the club that he wants away, Liverpool need to do all they can to try and sign Konate, because he's showing arguably his best form in a red shirt at the moment. And if Liverpool can keep hold of him, if Liverpool can do a deal to keep Konate at the club, that would be a great acquisition for me. But no doubts he will play this weekend. Right back. Unfortunately, I think Dominic Szoboszlai is going to play there. There's a potential that Joe Gomez could in, but I think given the fact that whoever plays at right back is going to be up against West Ham's man in form, if you like. He's in a purple patch. I spoke about it earlier in the show. Crescencio Somerville, and I think Liverpool will, or Arne Slot will play Dominic Szoboszlai. He started Dom there at the weekend against Forest, albeit it didn't work out and he moved Curtis back. But I think, pending the fitness of Florian Wirtz, I think Dominic Szoboszlai will play right back for Liverpool. That leads on to the midfield, where you're going to have Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and as I say, it's going to be Wirtz or Jones. Now, for me personally, if Florian Wirtz isn't up for selection, I have no problem whatsoever playing Curtis Jones in there. I would say a little point on Curtis Jones. I'm a big fan of Curtis Jones. Anyone who watches my channel will know I'm a big fan of Curtis. I'll be really sad if he leaves Liverpool this summer, because he's one of those guys that kind of lives and breathes the club, lives and breathes the badge. He loves the club more than anything. We've all seen that in the past. And yeah, it'd be sad if Curtis moves on to pastures new in the summer. I will say though, I was disappointed that he didn't kind of grab his chance, if you like, last weekend at Forest. I was disappointed in particular because his game time has been few and far between over the last month or so. He's not got that many, well, he's hardly got any starts. And coming into the game last minute, I thought Curtis would have been bang up for that game. I thought he would have kind of grabbed the game, grabbed the team by the scruff of his neck, if you like, and kind of wanted to show the manager, wanted to prove why he should be in that team. And he didn't do that, which I was disappointed. So pending Wirtz as fitness is whether Jones gets a start in this team or not. And if he does get a start, I would like to see a much improved performance from Curtis Jones in particular. And then in terms of the forward line, I don't see any change there. It's going to be Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah occupying the flanks, and Hugo Ekitike starting up top as the number 9, which he's not scored now in his last 3 Premier League games, I think, Hugo Ekitike. So him and Mohamed Salah, 'cause I think Mohamed Salah, it could be potentially, I think I heard something on the Anfield Wrap this morning, that is it 9, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments here, but is it 9 games, 9 Premier League games Mohamed Salah has not got a goal? So he's certainly due a goal. I know fans have been crying to see Rio Ingamoa start, and me personally, I would love for Ingamoa to get a start. And what I will say is, be patient guys, because I think we'll see Rio Ingamoa quite a little bit more in the Wolves FA Cup and league ties. I think Rio will get quite a bit of game time there, in my opinion. But listen guys, let me know in the comments below what you think in terms of what Arne Slot might do this weekend against West Ham. In terms of a score prediction, I'm gonna go with Liverpool will win this game. I have no doubt about that, and I'm gonna go with the theme of the flavour of the month, if you like, and Liverpool are gonna get a 1-0 win. I don't think it'll be a pretty game. Obviously, West Ham are fighting for their lives, so I can't see West Ham just sitting in and occupying the space, just defending their goal. West Ham will will want to come out, will have to play football at some point, because West Ham need points. They can't rely really on trying to scrape a point at Anfield. So at some point in time, and it may come towards the latter stages of the second half, but West Ham will have to come out and spaces will open up for Liverpool to play football. But yeah, I'm going to go 1-0, and I think Mohamed Salah gets on the score sheet for the Reds. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. And as always, if you've not done already, please get over to the homepage, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you don't miss out on any future content. I'll catch you in a bit.